Welcome back to the DTC Concepts channel. Thank you for giving us a watch. As always, I'm going to bring you some tips and tricks, and if you like them, I'd appreciate liking and subscribing so you can see more and more things on how to make your home look beautiful. So today, we're actually going to get into 10 interior design mistakes that I see regularly in people's homes, and how can we do something to fix them. So let's get started. First one, this is big. I've been guilty of it. Overthinking symmetry. A lot of the times in homes, people want everything perfectly symmetrical. And while a lot of the times it does work, sometimes spaces that are not, or an odd shaped piece, or it's broken up into thirds, tend to look more interesting than is everything just perfectly symmetrical. So when you're looking at your space, think about how to make it interesting rather than how to make everything look the exact same on either side of a focal point. The next one that I want to talk about is being too minimal. Now, I appreciate minimalism, and I think that some spaces it definitely works for, but what I tend to see is a lot of the people's homes that I go into, they don't have a minimalist house, minimalist decor, style of home. It ends up feeling like they have a lack of decoration. And it's because they don't want to put pieces out because they think it's going to clutter the space. When in actuality, a lot of the times it can enhance the space if it's done correctly. You want to look at my fourth layer, curating items together in places that bring life to it. You know, bookshelves are lovely, but unless it's got beautiful decor on it and objects, it's just open shelving with nothing on it. So think about that. Don't be afraid to put items into your home. So number 3 is definitely one that makes me crazy. And I think a lot of people don't realize this, but curtains should brush the floor. Like they need to reach, they can't be 3 inches above. It's not good enough. It looks weird. So, make sure you're measuring, taking into consideration if you're using grommets, it's going to shift it by a ½ inch or whatever, but you want to have proper length curtains. I beg you, just do that. If you have a different length that's not standard that you need, West Elm's got some great options for just natural linen curtains that you can get specifically cut to a variety of heights, which is fantastic. Number 4. Buying furniture sets all at once. I was guilty of this when my brother and I got our first apartment. It was lovely furniture, but it was a set of furniture. It definitely didn't feel curated or collected, but at 21 years old, I thought it was amazing. But, you want to have pieces of interest. You don't want everything to look exactly the same. That doesn't mean you can't buy a love seat at a couch that is the same, but throw in a different accent chair, pair it with something different, create some visual interest in there. Number 5, we're already halfway through the list. Staying safe with your walls and your ceilings. This is something that I see regularly. It's been a huge movement, especially in Southern California, where everything is white walls. It is calming, and I love a neutral space. This is not me jumping on the sad beige bandwagon home thing. I like a neutral space, but I tend to see most people say like, oh, I'd love to do that in my house, but I just never could do it when they walk into my powder room that's completely drenched in wallpaper. And I say, do that, get a little wild, because that ends up being your favorite spaces in a home. And I get if you are a more neutral person, then just isolate it to specific rooms, and it's really fun to walk into, and it doesn't have to be the entire feeling of your home. Number 6, giving up on style because you have kids. This is big. I am a parent. I am friends with a lot of parents, and a lot of the times I hear them say, well, I don't want to get that now when my kids are older. I don't want to redo my kitchen now. I'm going to wait till my kids get older. I can't get that couch now, until my kids get older. I say that's sad. Your kids are going to take a while to get older, and you're going to be living in a home you don't love. And so design it as if kids didn't live there. Just be smart about it. Use, fabrics that can hold up. I have nice things in my home. My son is taught to respect them. Now, he doesn't always listen, but me having a child is not going to mean that I live in a kid's play space with old furniture for 18 years until he moves out of the house. All right, number 7, buying furniture that's uncomfortable just because it looks good. This is not something you want to do. You don't need a furniture piece that's a placeholder that never gets used. That defeats the purpose. Buy comfortable furniture. That leads me right into number 8, which also is about seating, and that is a lack of it. So you want to think about, if you are somebody that entertains like I do, I've got a lot of living room furniture set up, but then I have really, really comfortable dining room chairs that I can pull over from my dining room table to float around the living room that people can sit on for hours, that act as additional seating. So you really want to think about people having a place to sit in your home and feeling comfortable when they come in. Almost to the end. All right, number 9, not testing paint colors before putting it all over your wall. Test them. Put in a nice size patch of paint in various rooms. You want to see it in different lights, different times of the day, before you just decide, I'm going to drench this in the newest color of the year. Make sure that color of the year is going to work in your space. Lastly, number 10. I've talked about this before. It's such an easy fix. Don't buy too small of rugs. I see too small of rugs all of the time. All it does is shrink your space, especially in living rooms. You want to make sure you've got a properly sized rug. If you're curious about your space, drop a comment below. I'm happy to answer. So that wraps up our 10 interior design mistakes and how to fix them. I hope you found this helpful. Again, if you could like and subscribe, I will be back with more design content.